We are going to be talking about money.
You have to pay your staff, you have to pay the rent, all the supplies that's in the building.
Childcare is too expensive.
Yeah. Ooh.
You're sweating?
Just a little. You lost me at the rent.
Every big discovery starts with a closer look. This is Magnify Child Care, presented by Academic Explorers. Guided by our promise to put the child first, we're zooming in on what makes these early years so important. Sharing the stories that shape us, focusing on what matters most. Let's start exploring.
Welcome to Magnify Child Care, a podcast for parents and providers. We are your hosts, Danielle and Rochelle.
Hello.
Today, we are going to be talking about a popular subject within the childcare industry that is a little bit uncomfortable to talk about, but is a big source of conversation, no matter what modality of care you're in. If you operate a childcare center, a family daycare, a group family daycare, a school age program, whatever it is, we cannot function without this one thing, and that is money. So with that said, I wanted to bring up the fact that there's a lot of misconceptions and misunderstandings around how much money comes in and out of programs, how much teachers should be paid, how much parents should be paying into childcare. And I figured that we could do some math. What do you think?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Got my built-in calculator.
Well, now you also got a notebook.
Oh!
Yes. Show the camera, yes. We got a Magnify.
Wait, did you get the orange on purpose?
I
to go with the
did. Mm-hmm.
It couldn't be purple. It had to be orange to match.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this.
And orange is your favorite color, right?
Next topic.
Fun fact, orange is my favorite color, and Miss Rochelle hates it.
Very much so. Very much so. Well, I like this.
So what do you think about this subject in general before we get into any math? And that's why I have my computer today, because we need to look some stuff up.
I do think it is a topic that a lot of parents do ask about, because when you come and you give them the tuition prices and they see the amount, they're like, wow. Yeah. This much for childcare? Yeah. I'm like, this much for childcare. Yeah. It's one of those topics.
Yes. It's definitely a sensitive matter. And honestly, I think nobody would disagree with the opinion that childcare is too expensive. Yeah. Like just nationwide right now, no matter where you are, the cost of living is up, but childcare is also really expensive. Yeah, if you don't have any subsidy programs, and even with that, some programs are charging way over the market rate, which we can get into later. But it's hard for most people to be able to afford it. I think that most childcare programs cost more than most like public colleges.
Yeah. And that's why some parents are choosing to be stay-at-home parents because they can't afford the childcare. Yeah. Or they're putting their kids in for part-time just because it's a little bit cheaper, but they still can't afford the full day.
Right. Or trying to make arrangements like if they work from home, like just having their baby in the corner while, exactly.
Stop talking, little Johnny. I'm on a Zoom call.
Exactly. So in order to, I guess, dispel because some people truly believe that childcare costs this much just because owners feel like making the prices the way that they are. Like
that is not true.
That this is just numbers that they pulled out, well. That these are just numbers that came out of nowhere. This is just, we've definitely been called greedy. You know how many times over these 10 plus years that I've owned a childcare program that I've been called greedy just by asking for tuition. It's really crazy, but I would love the opportunity to break down, or build up, I should say, a budget so people can see why prices are the way that they are. Now, before I start doing that, you're not really a part of the, I guess, decision-making surrounding tuition rates or budget planning, or you don't meet with our accountant, so you probably yourself don't have any idea where these numbers come from.
I just go based off the paper you give me.
Can I ask before we get into it, are there any assumptions that you've made, maybe even before coming in as an employee to any childcare program? Like, are there assumptions that you've had
regarding the amount of
the pricing, or what administrators or program owners are doing with the money, or why it's so much?
I always knew childcare was expensive, but I also came from Pennsylvania, so the tuition in Pennsylvania is a little different than what it is in New York. But I was never under the assumption that as owners, as directors, you guys are just, okay, we're going to charge this amount. Mm-hmm. Because again, if you think into it, you have to pay your staff, you have to pay the rent, all the supplies that's in the building. Some child cares, I know, like the infant classroom might be cheaper because they don't provide the formula. But when you do provide the formula, you got to charge them a little bit more because you have to buy the formula. Mm-hmm. So I never had my own assumptions. I just said, like, it's this for this price. They're giving good care.
Yeah, it's worth it.
It's worth it.
That's the other thing. Like, some people go the route of the cheapest option possible, and maybe for some people that's just what they absolutely need. Mm-hmm. Like, if they have no other choice, they have to work and they don't qualify for certain assistance and they just need something, they don't have family, whatever, I get that. But some people who may have some options, some parents would choose the cheapest option just because it's cheaper, not realizing that there's no way that your child's getting quality care or education or anything like that.
You pay for what what's the saying? You
get what you pay for.
There we go.
Right. And even with that in mind, there's so many, like, with the medium or average rate programs, like I would say ours is, we're pretty much just at the market rate, unless parents want extended care, and then it's a little bit, a very minimal difference. But even with that, like, there's things that I wish we could afford to do or have, because the nearly $400 or a little more than $400 per week that we may be getting per child doesn't cover as much as we would love for it to cover. So yeah. We can start off with, like, do you know what the market rate is? When I mention market rates, do you have any idea what I'm talking about?
No.
So in New York State, and it might be different in other states, I don't know what it's called, like if it's called Pennsylvania market rates or whatever, but in New York State, we have something called Childcare Assistance Market Rates. OCFS is in charge of setting the market rates for the whole state. Mm-hmm. OCFS stands for Office of Children and Family Services. They're our licensing agency. Every licensed program in the state of New York is licensed by OCFS. So they set childcare assistance market rates, and they are supposed to be reviewing and revising and pretty much increasing. I don't know if there's ever been a year where it goes lower. Probably not. But they change the market rates every year. They split the state up into 4 different groups, clusters of counties that are close to each other. Mm-hmm. They send out a survey to all childcare providers within each county, an optional survey, asking them to share whatever it is that they charge for different sessions of childcare. So for part day preschool, how much do you charge? For full day toddlers, how much do you charge? For after school, how much do you charge? They take that survey for the county and within that group, and then they average it up. So they add up all the different rates for each different age group and session. They take the total and divide it by the number of programs that exist within that modality. Modality meaning center-based, home-based, school-age program and whatnot. And then they get the average. And for whatever reason, they subtract 15%. So if the average is that they charge $100 per week for school age after school, if that's the average number they've come up with, then they're going to set the market rate at $85.
Okay.
I don't know why they do that, but that's my understanding. So they publish, after they do the surveys and go through these averages. They will, and then subtract the 15%. They will publish this listing of the different daycare modalities. So daycare center, school age, you can be a legally exempt program. And maybe in a different episode, we can go over like the modalities of care. Yeah. But then they show you the weekly rate that is the market. What's the new market rate for the full week, for a daily rate or a part day rate? And this is the number that they set as the maximum that DSS will pay, or ACS, the Child Care Assistance Program. That's where DSS is getting the amount that they'll pay up to. Okay. And if a program charges more than that, then the parent has to pay the difference. Okay. Yeah. So this is what I'm talking about when I refer to market rate. And I'm saying that we charge just about pretty much the market rate across the board, with the exception of like certain extended sessions that we have. So with that, this is an idea, like some providers won't do the, and by providers, I mean childcare business owners, whatever modality you might be. Some providers won't take the time to do like the breakdown of how much their program actually costs, right? So when childcare providers are choosing to set their rates, some of them might just call a few locations nearby them and charge what they charge, or try to be lower. Some might just look at the market rates and pick that, and that's what they charge. And then some might actually consider the type of program they want to run, the type of activities they want to have, field trips. They might put together a list of materials and curriculum supplies and trainings and all the things that they want to do. They'll put that together and then do the math to total it out for the year, divide it by the number of weeks, and make it make sense. Yeah. So that is somewhat of what I would like to do today, so that we can actually see the true cost of care in a sample program.
Sounds great to me.
Does that sound fun?
Yes. Okay. In my handy dandy notebook?
Yes. All right. So let's pretend that you're a new childcare business owner. You're thinking about starting a program of your own, right? Or you're tasked with going to open by yourself the next Academic Explorers location. And now you got to figure out the rates. What's the first thing you should consider? What do you think it is?
The location. Or are we just going straight to the rates?
Well, if we're going to be doing the sample budget, like what would go in your plan of what my expenses? Budget. Yeah, what expenses my teachers. Do you think? Okay, we could start with teachers. Okay, the rent. So, yes, I think we should start with rent. Okay. Let's just say we're renting, because of course you could purchase a property, but let's say there's rent. Let's just take I'm going to Google what is the average cost per square foot of commercial rent in Nassau County. Yeah. The average cost can vary between $35 to $50 per square foot. So let's say that it's 40. And if we have something else to consider is the size of your program, right? Of course, the tuition rate might vary if the size of the program is bigger versus smaller, because you'll have more kids or less. Some programs, especially like home daycares or very small centers, will consider themselves boutique and offering a premium service so that they can have much higher rates to offset the fact that there's not many options of slots available. They don't have that many seats. So if we're talking about like a building that can have 50 kids, and with 50 children, you would need to have the square footage, the amount of square feet per child that OCFS requires in our regulations is 35 square feet for every one child, I believe. So if there's 50 kids, that would be 50 times 35. So we're talking about 1,700 square feet of classroom space. Mm-hmm. Doesn't include bathrooms, hallways, closets, kitchens, things like that. So let's just say the building is 2,500 square feet. So 2,500 times, let's do 42. 2,500 times $42 per square foot. That would be $105,000 per year is what you would be spending on rent. If your rent expense was $42 per square foot, that's your annual amount that you would spend on just rent alone for 50 kids. That's
just rent?
That's just rent. So now, with 50 children, how many teachers approximately do you think you would need? Actually, before we get into teachers, what about the director? The director, how much do you think a director should make? And that's a question for you guys watching and listening. I know it's a hot topic for both teachers and directors. We don't get paid enough. Mm-hmm. And I agree. I wish that we would be able to pay the amount that like first responders get. Yeah. I think that it's certainly worth it. But what do you think people coming into the industry?
I say 28 to 35 an hour.
28 to 35 an hour. And let's go with the higher end because we want to build the best program ever. The highest quality program, right? 35 an hour. Maybe we can get a director that has their master's degree or certification or something. So 35 an hour. And realistically, how many hours a week you think the director is going to work?
40 to 50 on a good day. I'll say 40. You thinking more?
How many hours do our directors work sometimes?
That's what it varies.
If it's a good day, a good week is 40. 40.
We're gonna stick with 40.
40. That's $1,400 a week. Let's multiply that by 52. That's $72,800. If the director earns 35 an hour, that's $72,800. Now that's just the director and the rent. What about teachers? How many teachers do you think? We'll do lead teachers and then assistants.
Lead teachers, 50 kids. You want to say we're doing 4 classrooms?
Sure.
So 4 teachers. 4 lead teachers.
4 lead teachers. Mm-hmm. What's the average? If we get the best qualified teachers, and let's say, if we get teachers that have bachelor's degrees, that's like fantastically qualified. Because if you don't know, in New York State OCFS licensed programs, lead teachers really only need to have 9 credits in education and working towards an associate's degree or a CDA in order to be qualified lead on a study plan. And most childcare programs, that's how they operate. If we get someone who has already completed their associate's degree or already completed their CDA, then that's fantastic. We aim for those, but we do help newer teachers in the field to complete their CDA. But we do, if we can find someone that has a bachelor's already, that's great. So how much would a bachelor's degree teacher be expected?
All right, so if our director's making $35 an hour, our lead teacher, let's say 25.
Okay, 25 times 40 hours. Multiply that by 52 weeks is $52,000. Okay. Now, assistant teachers. How many assistants would you need if you had 4 classrooms?
I'll say 1 per classroom for sure, so 4. My preschool kids, we're going to need 2.
Okay.
This is going to be 8 teachers. 8. No, not right. All right. 6.
No, you know what? No, because we're building the best program, the ideal program, the program that.
So we could do 6 assistant teachers.
Okay. And
we'll do 6.
How much? What's the average amount, the middle amount that you think assistant teachers should make?
What's minimum wage right now in New York?
No, we're not building. We're building the best program. Minimum wage is $17 as of today.
Between 19.
About 19.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I say 19.
19 times 40 hours. Actually, we forgot something. With the lead teacher, that's $52,000 for just one. So 52,000 times 4 is $208,000.
Okay. We forgot admin support. We don't really.
You know what? No, because we're building the best program. So, if you want your child to have the best,
you need an admin support.
Right, you need an admin support. Trust me. How much do they make?
28. No, my lead teacher is 25.
I want to work for you.
Best quality care.
Oh, wait, how much are lead teachers making?
25.
Okay, so I guess
28.
Okay, 28 is fair.
28.
28 times 40 hours a week. That's 100. That's 1120 times 52 weeks a year. It's 58,240. And yeah, that's one person. So 58,240. Okay.
They go do the math for the assistant teachers.
What did we say?
19 an hour.
19
an hour
times 40 hours a week times 52 weeks a year. That's 39,520 for one person. Times how many? 6?
Yeah, 6 assistants.
Okay. That's $237,120.
Whew.
You're sweating?
Just a little. You lost me at the rent. I was long going at the rent. Now I'm just right into right.
Now, something else that's important is with the salaries, because we're done with, or we need more people? You need a custodian?
Yeah, I need top of the line. I need my building clean.
So how much should we pay the custodian? To show up, make sure it's actually done.
17. Oh, 18.
Minimum. Okay, let's do 18. Let's do 18.
No, I can't do 18.
Maybe we can find someone straight out of high school, or just this is their part-time job.
You do, because I need a full-time gym.
Yeah, exactly. It could be. All
right.
I think 18 is 18. Fair. 18 times 4 hours a day, right? So 20. Yeah. 20-ish hours a week. That would be $360 a week times 52. That's $18,720 for the custodian for the year.
Okay.
Now, something to consider with payroll is that you need to add on more than just the amounts on your paper for taxes, insurances, and withholdings. So, like, we have to pay in order to pay people. Mm-hmm. So there's a percentage for that. About 10%. So whatever the total is for the salaries, we would then add 10% on top of it. Mm-hmm. So that total of just payroll without the 10% is 594,880. Plus 10% equals 654,368. That's just in payroll expenses.
Not the rent.
Not the
decor.
Literally anything else. Not the curriculum, not the supplies, nothing.
Okay.
So now, what else do you need for a quality program? What would be your next thing to think about as an expense?
You said curriculum.
Okay. So I can tell you right now that what we're paying for access. I just did this the other day. Our curriculum we use, and they're charging us $250 per teacher for curriculum access. $250
per teacher.
How many teachers was it?
4 leads, 6 assistants.
So 10.
Every teacher needs it?
In the quality program.
10 teachers. Mm-hmm.
That's $2,500 a month. I mean, a year.
A year.
Yes. $2,500 a year for curriculum access.
Mm-hmm.
That's not training on the curriculum or anything else. How much do you think we should spend on training? That's just to access.
How many more pages in my notebook? How much money we should spend?
Yeah, for the year on a quality program. Like if we tried to break down, like we do CPR training. Mm-hmm. We are sending one of our admins, just one, to the NACI conference next month, where we put together our own professional development. About 8,000.
Well, the CPR is every 2 years.
Yeah.
We're doing this year.
Do you remember how much we spent? Remember
over CPR is just that amount, though.
CPR is 8,000? Wait, how much?
I think it's like $250 per person.
Hold on.
Or $275.
What's his name? SPR. What's the man's name? George? Jorge,
it is Jorge.
Yes, you're calling him George.
Jorge, sorry if you're watching this. I pronounced your name wrong.
It's $50 per person.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. My Gmail AI overview is telling me. I think if you were to go to like the American Red Cross,
I swear it was more than that. Okay, so $50 per person.
Yeah, that's fine. Like that's
times 10 people. Okay,
so that,
and we're gonna do that once a year.
For best practice.
It didn't change within the year.
Well, hopefully nothing has happened. They wouldn't have used it. I would love if we had
You want to do CPR twice a year?
No, we do it every other year when it expires. Uh-huh. But I would love for us to be able to do certain trainings multiple times.
Get it right in the head.
Yeah, I feel like I would want that type of emergency information.
All right, so I'm sticking with 8,000 for trainings.
Do you remember when we were planning our professional development day mm-hmm. for how much did we spend on the trainers, the food, the cost of do you remember all of that? And we were like, oh, maybe we don't need this person because the price started to get out of control. That was more than
quality care
for just one day.
All right, so we're gonna say,
and we
could double that then.
Yes, I think doubling it would be conservative, honestly.
For a year, so
$16,000 on different types of training and professional development. It would be trainings like online trainings or groups, classes, professional PD days with everybody, like the different expenses related to ongoing training and professional development. Side note, you know how I'm in a few mom groups because I like to, whenever someone asks for recommendation of childcare in our neighborhoods, I always plug AE. Mm-hmm. So one day I saw in that mom group that someone was complaining about they asked the question of, does your child's daycare close all the time? Like, mm-hmm. I don't know if I should be looking for another daycare or is this normal? Mm-hmm. And then most people were responding like, yeah, they close. My daycare tends to follow the school calendar or the public school calendar. Mine does this, mine does that. And then someone commented, yeah, my school's daycare closes for all holidays and professional development with the eye roll emoji. And she was like, geez. And I'm like,
they're very important.
Not professionals?
Very much so.
Do you not want your child to be...
we are childcare providers.
Right. You don't want your child's teachers that are with them for even if it's only 5 hours a day. Some of our kids are with us 10, 11, 12 hours a day. Even if it's 2 hours a day, you don't want them to be trained and developed professionally.
No, because they don't want to have to call out of work for all these days they got to take off.
Anywho, I know this is not every parent's mindset, of course, but and this is exactly why I think our podcast is needed. Right? Like, so that we can open up the perspective. I'm sure the parent that left that comment was not aware that, like, doesn't even realize, like, well, actually, yes, I would like my child's teachers to be professionals, because I can assure you the first incident or problem that happens, and then it's like, well, how did the teacher not know? Well, because you didn't want her to have a PD day.
That part.
Anyways. What comes next?
Supplies.
We got your space. We got your staff. We got the staff trained and the curriculum. What else is needed?
Supplies, materials.
How much do you think? We won't even include in this the amount that it costs to furnish a childcare program or a preschool. Because that's not the furniture, like tables, shelves, cubbies, chairs, things like that, are not to be purchased in bulk like every year. Hopefully not for years and years. Those things should last you. But that is a significant penny. It's depending on the type of program you're running and what you need, it could very easily be about $10,000 per classroom of just cubbies, tables, chairs, shelves, changing tables, like the big pieces of equipment that you see that make up a classroom. That stuff is expensive. Yeah. Super expensive. Unless you're going to get it like on the side of the road, someone giving it up, or Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or something like that. If you're trying to get it brand new, super expensive. Yeah. But let's not even talk about that. Just the things that need to be replaced. Crayons, yes. Replenishables, disposables, whatever you would call it. How much do you think that is?
Well, are we giving the teachers a monthly budget? So like, your monthly budget is...
No, we're not. This is nothing to do with what the teachers want. This is what the program needs. What you know as the program owner.
I feel like I can't put an amount for that for a year.
Yeah, we should know, like, how often we run through paper, construction paper, glue, crayons. I would say that it's maybe about $100. I do think it's like $75 per month per class. So if we did 75 times 12, four classrooms. That's 3,600. Let's say something breaks.
Let's say 5,000.
Yeah. Let's say, like, if a big piece of furniture or something might break once a year, we got to replace it. Like, I just got asked for a new kitchen set. That's something that costs a little more.
We'll do 5,000.
5,000 for replenishable items. What else? I'll tell you, insurance, like liability insurances and the required insurances that we would need, that's going to be about $30,000 a year. What else?
So we have our rent, we have our teachers, our curriculum, supplies and materials, trainings, insurance.
What about experiences for the kids?
We are the experience.
Oh, they don't need to go nowhere.
We are the experience.
They don't need to go nowhere, do nothing, have nobody come in.
Experiences, you're right.
Like field trips and
quality
visits.
Care. $9,000.
You know what? Yeah.
Sounds about right?
Mm-hmm. If we're talking about like the...
Because you're not going, so it's mostly like the summertime they have.
Well, again, if we were able to charge what we want to charge in order to give the experience we want to give, look at how many times, like, which we're going to have to figure out soon. The curriculum that we use, we have these experiences that they're supposed to, like, at least once or twice per unit, they're supposed to go on a field trip and then also once or twice per unit, there should be someone coming into the program. So if we were to actually take field trips where you get on the school bus, our school bus cost alone to go anywhere within Nassau County is, I want to say, $500. And if we go outside of Nassau County, it's $850 just for the bus, not for whatever the ticket cost is to get in.
Are we doubling that?
So if it's like $850 per, or let's say $500 per bus, and let's say if we have 50 kids, 50 times $10 would be about $500. So 1,000. Let's say 1,000 per field trip, and we go on, let's say one field trip a month. Which it probably will be some months that skip and some months that double, like in the summer. So $12,000 on field trips for the year. Yeah, $12,000 a year. We could make that work. You get some connections. Those are the program visitors.
Dang.
What else do we need? What about things like Cintas, water? Because we didn't add that yet.
That's not the supplies and materials?
No. That was like the crayons, the stuff for the room. Let's call that item miscellaneous. And we'll say that's about $1,000 a month. Well, yes. Because I'm sure there'll be miscellaneous things that come up. How many times a week you text me? Josh texts me, you got money on the card for today. We're going to get a cake and a card. And he said the same thing yesterday. It's always someone's birthday when you have, how many staff? 12?
10.
No, you have the director
and my janitor. I can't forget my janitor.
True. 13 staff. That's more staff than the number of months in the year. Got a lot of birthdays.
Hopefully they got the same birthday. Split a cake.
Okay, so miscellaneous times 12 months is $12,000 a year as well. What's that total? Okay, so that total is $809,868 of total expenses. If we're not missing anything. And I 1,000% know that we're missing something. So if you are in charge of financials or budgeting in your childcare program, please let me know what specific line item we're missing. Put it in the comments. But so $809,000 of expenses. Now, Ms. Rochelle, you own the business, correct?
Yes.
Do you want to have a salary for yourself? Or
I would hope so.
Make anything? Do you want to have reserves in case of an emergency?
Yes.
Do you want to build any sort of legacy for your program or have emergency funding? Like, this is just all that it costs to run it. What is the percentage that you think we should have as profit after? Because we're hoping that we get at least $809,000 worth of income to offset these expenses, right? But you know what? Before we even get to that question, maybe we should just see what this number is for the kids without, like, if there was no profit to be made at all, if there was no, if there's no emergency savings or anything like that. If it's $809,000 is the amount that you need to operate a quality program for 50 children, let's divide that now by 12 months. That comes out to $67,489 per month of expenses. $67,489. And we can divide that by 50. $1,349. Let's say $1,350 per child per month. So $1,350 divided by 4 weeks. That's $337 per week. Now this doesn't, again, I feel like we're missing
We're definitely missing
We're missing stuff, but on top of that, we can't have a program that just simply breaks even and have people that will run it for free. Successful programs will have a 15% profit on top of like they pay their expense, whatever the total expenses are. If you take 15% of that, that would be the amount that you would aim for at least for a profit in order to have the business be considered successful financially. Some have a goal for, of course, as much as possible, but some are doing so well that they're earning like 20 or 25% over. So if we were to do the 337 plus 15% at minimum, that comes out to about $388 per week. Now, the reason that the market rates are different we just did an even divide, like by 50 children. We didn't do, okay, infant should be a little more, preschool should be a little more or less, toddler should be in between. We didn't do school ages less, because you'll notice in the market rates, all of those rates are different. And that's because the expenses related to certain groups of children will vary. So, for example, with infants, you can only have 8 babies at most in a class. No matter the class size and how big it might be, you can only have 8 infants in the room. And with those 8 infants, you have to have 2 teachers. Where if you go to preschool, as you know, and it's a group of 4-year-olds in a class that's similar in size, you can have 20 children. Mm-hmm. You can have, even with the same 2 teachers, you can have 16 pre-K children together. So that's literally double the amount of kids for the same size space, for the same number of staff. So, of course, an infant program is going to be way more expensive. So I hope that does help to put things into perspective. What are your thoughts on this?
It's a lot of money. And now that you put like pen to paper and you realize like this is how much you're spending on this and this salary, on this curriculum and this training, it makes sense why the tuition price is the reason why the tuition price is.
Yeah.
You don't think about it until you put pen to paper and you see like, wow, it takes all of this to run the daycare, all of this to get the quality care that my child needs. So yes, I'm going to pay the $388.
Right. Yeah. And if you can't, there might be options, as a parent, if you're watching this and you realize like tuition costs too much, and you want to find like a good quality program that's not just charging the least amount in the area to get as many people in the door as possible, you can likely find a program that has and accepts childcare assistance options. Like with us, we accept DSS and ACS, which is all falls under the Childcare Assistance Program of New York State. We do try to help families that come to us that don't really know about it or have never applied for it. We try to help guide them in the right direction for the application process. We also accept vouchers that some families might have from their jobs, like the TWU fund. We accept Childcare Aware of America if you're a military family looking for childcare to use that benefit if you have it. What else? I think that's it. Anything you have that we will take it. We're fine with helping families that need assistance, but I think those are the main 3 that we accept from both Suffolk County, Nassau County, and New York City ACS at all 4 of our centers. But I definitely think that this perspective of breaking down exactly what has to go out for basic things that a childcare program needs in order to be successful is important. Now, if we're talking about like a home daycare, when I first started, I had a home daycare at first. It was a house that I was living in and would have already needed to pay for because that's where I live. Those prices tend to be lower because with a home daycare, the owner of the program is typically the one doing most of the childcare, and they might have one assistant if they're lucky, and maybe even two. But they may be married and already have like their bills in the house taken care of, and it's just a passion project for them, so they can charge different rates, or just charge without considering profit because it all like just easier for them. But yeah, I do hope that this helped to provide some clarity to anybody watching, whether you're on the side of being a staff member or a parent, or if you own a program, or you're considering, especially if you're considering starting one up. This is definitely a great exercise for you. I would say to take whatever property you're looking at, if it's a commercial building, you're looking into starting a daycare center specifically, figure out what the square footage is inside the class, because the total square footage of the building is what's going to help you determine how many kids you can fit in. Once you have the number of kids that you can fit in the building, then you can determine how many teachers you will need. If you know the number of teachers you will need, like the number of leads, the number of assistants, you can then get the average, figure out the average amount of you would have to pay the teachers, total that up, add on 10% for taxes and different insurances, and then continue to break your budget down from there, and see what your true expenses will be. That's the number that you should be considering when figuring out how much you should charge, not just by simply taking the market rate sheet and charging that, or taking the surveying programs yourself and calling them or calling around. You of course want to do your research by asking, trying to figure out what other providers charge in your area, so you're not completely under or completely over, because that would signal red flags to families, I would assume. But do the math as well to make sure you're making a smart decision. Anything else you would want to add?
No.
You're still flabbergasted by the numbers. What we just did has no representation of Academic Explorers specifically. We don't have a center that has 50 kids, and that's not our price per square foot of real estate. That's also really important to consider. There's in different zip codes or census tracts, or different areas of wherever you may live, the cost of real estate, of rentals, is going to be different. Whether you're renting or buying, the dollar amount on those properties is going to be drastically different depending on the community that you're in. So I don't know where that average was pulled from. The $42 per square foot is just what I took as the middle point in Google. But if you are looking at an actual property, take that number, that dollar amount per square foot, and start your budgeting from there. So yeah, this has nothing to do with how we set our rates or what they actually, what our true cost of care is. This is just an example, and hopefully you take this exercise and make it your own. But thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Bye.
On the next episode,
childcare assistance is something that's available to eligible families within the whole state of New York.
There are other counties that have been on the wait list from last year. Minnesota?
Yes, Minnesota.
The scamming daycare. Yes. You gotta use our scamming.
Well, we don't know if they were scamming.